Welcome back. Now, when I last had this bike on the road, it did run quite hot, so I've been looking forward to coaxing some life back into the cooling system. The radiator and fan have seen better days, and though I could try and clean and restore the fins, decent new radiators are readily available. The hoses were okay but getting on a bit, but the thermostat housing was in need of some cosmetic help. There are 3 hoses of a similar size here, so I cleaned and numbered them and took a photo to help with reassembly. Then I worked through the Jubilee clips removing them. These were stainless steel, so it held up well, but I'll still likely replace them with new ones. I loosened the bolts that hold the thermostat housing together and popped it open to have a look inside. Then I started removing and separating all the hoses, removing any remaining clips. The coolant temperature sensor was very tight, but it came out and looked okay. I'll test that later. With the pipework all disassembled, I moved on to the radiator. This last bolt here was a rounded off Allen bolt, so that needed a lot of encouragement to come out. I removed the fan switch from the radiator. These are quite pricey, so I'll be cleaning up and testing this one before writing it off. I salvaged the old collars to bring over to the new radiator, as well as the rubber dampers. I gave them a bit of heat to make them more pliable to fit through the hole. The radiator is quite corroded here though, so I didn't really need to. So I have some hardware to clean up and restore. I'll replace the hose clips. These small hoses will get a clean up. I'll need a new O-ring for the thermostat housing, as well as cleaning up the plastic part. I'll clean up this connecting pipe and its rubber piece. The metal half of the thermostat housing will get cleaned and repainted. I'll clean and test the thermostat and do the same with the fan switch. The filters and valves for the carb heating circuit are no longer available, so I'll do my best to check and clean them up. Finally, I'll clean up the lead for the temp sensor. I put the rusty hardware in a bath of deoxy to get the worst off, and cleaned up the thermostat ready for testing in the kitchen. I put it in a pan on the stove and brought the temperature up to check it opened and at what temperature. The manual says mid-80s, and soon after that it started to open, so I'm happy that's working as expected. I checked the resistance of the temperature sensor and blasted it with a heat gun. It's not the most scientific test, but it's definitely working. Now my plan for the fan was to repaint it, but one of the blades had decided to eat itself, so I found a second-hand one in better condition from a breaker's. It was still going to need to be stripped and repainted, as its years facing the oncoming moisture had taken its toll. So let's get it apart. I'll give this centre plate a mask up for a quick sandblast, ready for a touch of paint. After I sandblasted the old paint and corrosion off the bracket, I gave it a wipe down in brake cleaner to prepare it for a few coats of paint. With that drying, I moved on. The metal side of the thermostat housing had a blast to remove the paint. I plugged the holes to keep the paint from getting to the inside and gave it a few coats. With that drying, I made a start reassembling the fan. The carb heating circuit has a small inline filter in it, which I removed and gave a clean out. Then I moved on to the electrical connectors for the coolant temperature sensor. The terminals had a bit of corrosion which came off easily, and I replaced this old tape with a more heat resistant fabric type. The bracket was dry now, so I went back to the fan. Lovely. Talking about lovely, rather than try and coax more life out of this old radiator, I picked up a new one and offered up the fan. I used one of these on the RVF a few years ago and was quite happy with it. I fitted new U-nuts on the rad, ready for the fan. This smaller pipe gets blocked off with the same blanking piece that was on the original radiator. I put some thread sealant on the fan switch and threaded it in, nipping it up snug. Then I worked the rubber dampers in, ready for the collars, which I'd given a clean up and a coat of paint to protect them. Well, there you go, that's looking a lot better. I also picked up new silicone hoses. Where a lot of the bike's staying stock, I'm quite happy upgrading key parts of the cooling system to really give the bike a good chance of handling the heat. I'll need this hose first, as we're now in the territory of working out the best order to put things on where there's still good access. I used a reference photo to reassemble as much of the thermostat plumbing as I could on the bench, then used the numbers on the old pipework to match up the similarly sized new ones to the correct location and orientation. These really are similar, so I'm glad I did that. The oil cooler hoses went on next, making sure the Jubilee clips were angled in a way that makes future access easy. With the left main pipe on, I connected the feet of the oil cooler and tightened up the clip. Before I mount the radiator, thinking about access, it makes sense to fit the exhaust now. But looking back at the state of the exhaust, I realised that removing the corrosion and restoring this was going to be a messy and time-consuming job, but it just needs doing. Or, on second thoughts, fuck that! I got this. I managed to get my hands on a period correct 4x2x1 titanium full system from Akrapovic, which is in really good condition. It's even got the cool branded sleeves on the springs. I fit the new exhaust studs into the head with a dab of anti-seize. Then with a dab of copper grease to stop them dropping out, I fitted new gaskets. This type of header has a collar that goes into the head, held in by the flange, so I fit all these on, making sure the small holes for the springs are on the underside of each flange. With the nuts finger tight, I slotted springs into the holes on the flanges ready for the downpipes. With a smear of copper grease inside the collar, I fitted the first two downpipes into place and pulled the tension springs onto the loops. Then I did the same on the other side. I gave everything at the header end a quick check over, then fitted the springs on the 4x2 sections. Then I slid the final junction piece onto them. I loosely mounted the hanger for the silencer, only finger tight to allow a bit of movement on assembly. Another smear inside the slip-on, and I fed it into the link pipe. It didn't take much wriggling to line everything up, which was a nice relief, so I started from the head, tightening and torquing up all the fasteners, securing it all in place. The last job was to wipe it all down with brake cleaner to remove any grease residue. And now I can finally mount the radiator. I offered it up to its mounts and tightened up the bolts. With the radiator run, I could now connect up the pipework on the left-hand side. The postman brought me a new O-ring for the thermostat housing, so I reassembled that, making sure the air bleed hole here was in the right orientation. I screwed in the temperature sensor with some thread sealant. Now the thermostat mounts to the frame with one bolt with a rubber damper, and one of mine was missing and the other one was on its way out, so rather than order replacements and wait for them to come in the post, I quickly modelled one in Fusion 360 and printed two in flexible filament. That'll do. I fitted the hose to the outlet on the cylinder head and onto the top of the radiator. Then I screwed in the mounting bolt, fitted the hose from the oil cooler and tightened up all the hose clips. The filter for the carb heater circuit went on next, with its smaller diameter hose heading towards the carbs. Then I fit the overflow hose to the radiator cap. All of these small wire clips are new. Slight diversion here, but I realised I hadn't fitted the sprocket cover, so I cleaned that up and fitted it, truly really finishing off that side of the bike. Then I moved on to the last piece of the puzzle. So here is my original coolant tank. Now, when I filled this up, when I first got the bike, it started pissing out somewhere, and I realised, don't know if you can see in there, but there is a crack in the main body inside there, so it would only ever fill up to this line, which was well above the low line, so it was okay, but it was a bit of a problem if it got hot because it would leak out. So I've looked for another one, and I found another one online, right? This hasn't got the hole there, this is in good shape, but it does look like it's had some sort of repair done down the bottom, and I didn't know that when I bought it, so now I have two that I'm not really confident in the structure of. So I looked online again, and on eBay, these things are about 50-60 quid for knackered ones like this, and they're in Japan, so there's postage or whatever. And then I looked on Fowler's and they're still available new for the same price. So I've ordered a new one, but I do need to get this cover off and the cap stuff. So I'm gonna take that off, clean that up, and then wait for the other one to come in the post. These things are just need a bit of clean up, they should be okay. But the bolts have seen better days, and this one's actually pretty much like a banana. So I'll replace those and put it back together. Yes. By comparison, I think we've made a good move. Now, if you had told me at the beginning of this project that I would be buying a brand new coolant reservoir for this bike, I'd be like, nah, chill out mate, it's not that sort of restoration, but well, we've come this far, we spent this much. In for a penny, all that. mean, it's going to look nice though. This on the side of the bike compared to the other one. That would just kind of ruin the nice aesthetic I've gone for. Look at that. That will do. That will do nicely. Right, let's get those clips on. That's on that side. That's on that side. Let's get it on the bike. I checked the routing of the reservoir overflow hose in the manual and then fitted that. Then I fitted the nice new clean reservoir. I fitted the overflow hose and the hose from the radiator cap with new hose clips. Wow, look at that. A nice, clean, upgraded and hopefully future-proof cooling system for the bike. All it needs now is some fresh coolant and to check for leaks, but I can't fill it yet until I fitted the carbs, as their absence leaves 2 gaping holes in the system. But let's take a look at where things currently stand. A fully rebuilt frame, wheels and suspension, engine fully rebuilt, electrical system sorted, cooling system rebuilt with new parts, and a lovely performance exhaust. Which leads me nicely onto the fuel system. Next time, I'll be stripping the carbs completely for a thorough clean and service of all the perishables, checking the fuel pump and sorting the hoses and smaller components. I'm hoping that that'll be this side of Christmas, so don't say I don't get you anything. I'll see you then.